Hello, my name is Bridget, and I would like to share a little story. My story. I would like to talk to you about spiritual awakenings, what a lot of people I believe are going through, and a lot of people are going through it and don't even know they're going through it. I would like to get feedback from anybody and everybody who has gone through anything like this. We have a lot of musical artists out there and actors, people that get to tell their story in songs and in movies. It's beautiful and greatly appreciated when you start going through something like this and it feels like nobody in your world understands it. Nobody knows what you're going through or believes in what you hear or see. So you feel alone, even more alone than you did before because you were lost. Mine started with hearing voices. I started hearing voices about 7 years ago and did not believe that they were inside my head right away. I knew that they were coming from outside my head. They were coming from a distance. But they were loud. I could carry on a conversation with them. In fact, that's pretty much how it is today. Still carrying on conversations, still being very drawn to what looks like I'm talking to myself, but I'm not. I So I started hearing these voices and started building bonds with these voices because they were telling me things about myself. They were also telling me things that were disgusting, things that you wouldn't want to hear, things that just didn't settle right. But the good things that they were telling me, one thing was that I had genius capabilities. One thing was that I had ADD. And I had already been diagnosed with bipolar. I knew from the age of about 8 or 9 that I wasn't normal. I still pull out my eyebrows and my eyelashes. I think it's has a lot to do with a concentration problem, a focus problem. And when I started researching ADD and finally got diagnosed with it, I realized that my self-harm was because it was untreated. I didn't know how to concentrate. I didn't know how to learn. And at this time, I was a methamphetamine addict, or I still am, but I'm recovering. I could concentrate on it. I could focus and learn and study, and I started falling in love with myself. So I automatically knew I wanted to reach out. I wanted to get clean, and I wanted to talk to doctors, and I was hoping for help the right way so that I could get away from the bipolar and get away from what made me feel crazy and shoot for something that seemed manageable. Like, I know bipolar is manageable, but for it to be ADD and a simple medicine and a change in environment and a change in self period, with discipline, with organization, learning how to deal with all those things that I was finding wrong with myself on drugs, mind you. I wanted off. I wanted it off the drugs. I wanted it on medicine and off the drugs. I wanted to be disciplined with it. I wanted to find self-control. And, go figure, because I was willing to admit that I was an addict. I wasn't given that opportunity. I was told that it would be too much of a chance that I could backslide. So I didn't get that chance, and I fell back again, right back into the drugs, and still hearing the voices. They were driving me crazy. So we've looked up electronic harassment, trying to figure out where these voices were coming from. I had looked up schizophrenia, and nothing. The electronic harassment I really thought that was it. That was it. There was somebody just messing with me hardcore, and I didn't know why. But all of the things that were being told to me, there were some that were enlightening, there were some that were helpful, but then there were some that were so heartbreaking. And not having anybody to talk to really was the hardest part. I was willing to talk to anybody and everybody about everything because I knew it was real. I knew that this was not me being crazy, that this was something real, and I had to figure it out. So, about 3.5, 4 years into going crazy over and over and over with these voices, I was given a Bible, and before this, about 8 months before I was given this Bible, I tried to commit suicide, and I was screaming, yelling at God, taking a bunch of pills, and I was telling him, I just don't want to be here anymore. Like, if you are him, you know that there is no purpose left here for me, so go ahead and help me out and take me tonight. And instead, he let me know he was real. Didn't see him, but I know it was him. Threw this big, huge ball of energy directly at me from the sky, from the heavens, and it hit me in my chest. And I remember grabbing my chest and sitting back on my bed going, what was that? And I had already taken the pills, so I woke up the next morning with bruises and scratches all over me. I had sleptwalk and fallen over, and I scared my dog to death. But I woke up, and I remember telling a few people what happened to me, and no one cared. No one made it anything. Everybody just acted like it was whatever, cool, okay. Like they didn't believe me, especially my mom. Really kind of hurt. She didn't believe me at all. So about 8 months after this, I get a Bible given to me, and I saw Jesus. I saw Jesus rise on a cross outside my living room. And he entered my house and came in, and he performed great teachings in front of me, or a helpful. It was beautiful, and I don't know how to explain it all. He put this thing on my head, and I could feel the energy almost tightening up around my brain, like he was trying to help me to get away from the voices a little bit, like close it off or something, so that maybe I wouldn't hear it so much. I really don't know what the purpose of it was. That's the only thing I can really think of, but it was very spiritual. After that, he put a backpack on my back, and he asked me to marry him. And it didn't feel weird. It was almost like I knew what he was asking me was to create an eternal bond with him. And my own insecurities led my response to being no. I did not feel adequate enough to be able to live a life with Jesus Christ. I didn't think I could live up to it. I don't know exactly what I was picturing or how I was picturing it, but I knew that I just wasn't good enough. And I told him that. I told him I wanted to try. I did say that. I said, I want to try, but right now I'm not good enough. And that night ended. That night was beautiful. Not long after that, I start going through this awakening. I was sitting in the middle of my floor, and I could feel astrological signs coming from the energy within my body, coming out of me. One of the most amazing ones was right at the end, and the only reason I remember this one in particular is because it was one of the first ones that really, really got me into it. Was a count. I could feel this almost thump in my stomach, in the lower part of my stomach, and it happened 13 times. My grandparents have 13 grandchildren, and that's what the spirits around me were telling me, is that's what we were counting family. Then the astrological signs came, and they were beautiful. They were just as beautiful. And this one sign came out of me, and I don't know what made me, I guess they told me that's your Aunt Debbie. And I had to run and go get on Facebook and look and see when her birthday was. And sure enough, it was during that month where that sign came out of me. So now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, and that I have been getting closer to God in the Bible, this spiritual awakening, all of it is connected. And I think I've known that. I think I've known that it's all been connected down to after the spiritual awakening, and after I felt scrolls, I could hold out my arms. The energy pushed my arms out, and I could feel them. I could see them. My third eye had been activated. So I started doing research on the pineal gland and all this, and chakras. But what I found to be the most helpful to me was Jesus' words himself. He says, "Let those who have the ear hear what the spirits have to say." I wish I would have known this in the very beginning, 7 years or 4 years prior to this time frame. But I didn't. I didn't realize that I was hearing spirits around me. I was hearing family because of spiritual connections. And maybe that's why he did this for me. Maybe he knew I was going to need to see answers. He knew I was going to need to understand what was going on with me, because it was driving me so crazy. I needed peace. And he is peace. He brings me peace. And talking about it brings me peace as well. Proverbs 20:12 says, "The hearing ear and the seeing eye, the Lord made them both." This awakening for me has been a trying trial and tribulations, truly, to discovering myself. And through all of it, I think I have learned a lot through other people as well, too. I want to continue telling my story so that I can hopefully help the next person in whatever way. Music may help guide you. The Bible may help guide you. Google may help guide you. Hell, all three of them may help guide you, because Lord knows I've been with all of them. There's been so many areas that I have enjoyed reading about or listening to that have helped me through this. I want to continue this story, and I want to open up a world for anyone and everyone to be able to share this if they don't have a way to express, or if they don't have family that's there. I want to build a family here. So this is my first video, and I hope to continue. Much love to everyone.